I'm going to try to show a little information with regards to the breastplate stones. And information on this is very difficult to obtain. It's listed three times in the Bible. One is in Exodus. The others are detailing the king of Tyre had some stones. And then we have Revelation 21 with the foundation stones. This video would not even be made if it weren't for the fact that one of the stones has been found. And because of that, and we know not only one of the stones has been found, but we're able to identify which stone that is, which tribe it goes to. And it belongs to the tribe of Benjamin. And one of the real issues with that is then to say, okay, if we're able to identify that, and that matches up with Revelation, one of the questions we're going to have is, number one, they don't know the stones from the old, and everything is basically a guess. In other words, from the Exodus and all our modern translations, and even when we have the translations back from the Greek Septuagint and the Samaritan Pentateuch, they're guessing, is the best way of saying it. Some of these stones just weren't known, and so they did the best they could. We have a better understanding because we have Revelation 21, and it's laying out the breastplate, it's laying out the foundation stones. It's not going to miss on any of those things. So they are going to be the breastplate stones. Now the issue at that point is identifying which stones go with which tribe. And again, because we have Benjamins, it allows us to do a little bit more work, and I think we can get much closer with the tribal affiliation. Now, my belief is that what is on the breastplate stone is based upon the order of birth. And I can go through that, but when I do the breastplate stones, I'll do it from order of birth. The foundation stones are not done by order of birth. We know that because we have the stone from Benjamin. But we do have something of what it says. Specifically, we know that each of the sons actually had a name associated with them. And this is what it is saying. Because it's basically doing, as I've done the order, it looks like Naphtali, Dan, Gad, Levi, Benjamin, Reuben, Zebulun. And again, I'll read it out what I have here. God has helped me and prevailed. God has given judgment for me and heard me. Happily, God will be with me. You shall have his son, or son of my pain. God has looked upon my affliction. God has given me a good gift. God shall add to me, or God has taken away my reproach. God has heard that I was hated. I am blessed. I will give thanks to the Lord. God has given me a reward. Those are the names of the tribes as listed in Revelation 21. So that's why I think they're in that particular order. And again, if you go back, you're just not going to get too far. So again, I have a little bit more of a benefit in this than most people do for purposes of trying to determine a breastplate stone. And when I came to faith, as many of us do, I had a dream. I had multiple dreams. I actually had one that was a vision that started as a dream, and I woke up and it wouldn't stop. And I mean, I was almost screaming, crying, fearful for my life, and it wouldn't stop. So that's one that I hope I'll always remember. But this one was a dream, and I'll relay the dream and I'll show you where the importance comes in. But we were in the kingdom, and we were putting floors in the houses. And these dump trucks were delivering these gigantic stones. And I mean, these things were like 15 feet long and 5 feet tall, just gigantic stones, boulders. Um, and most of them were this green stone that I'd never seen before. But one was in there was this most beautiful pink marble that I'd ever seen, and I kept thinking, man, this would be the most beautiful floor to do. But I kept getting drawn to this green, and everybody else wanted the green. Nobody wanted the pink. And what it looked like was green with looked like gold streaks going through it. It wasn't gold, and I knew it wasn't gold streaks, but it looked kind of like gold streaks going through it. And I just had to say, that's the most beautiful stone I've ever seen. And that's what I want. And everyone around me, nobody wanted this pink thing. And it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And everybody's like, no, that's not us. And I never understood what that meant. Like I said, I've obviously seen pink marble, but I've never seen this green stone until I had it in that dream. And it was a few months later, and I was researching the tribal personalities as best as I could, so I could try to figure out where I might fit in. And I was really kind of honing in on Naphtali, and I was looking into that. And the Creator has spoken to me 3 times, each time with a no. But this is one of the times He spoke to me. And I'm looking at Naphtali, and I'm on the computer screen, and I heard this voice in my ear that said, no, you're Asher. I was like, okay. It was done. I never had to worry about that anymore. I dropped the whole thing of even looking at tribes because I heard from the Creator. So it's set in stone at that point. So, anyway, when I started then doing the research, which was months later, probably 5 months later or more, on the breastplate stones, and going through and realizing that I wasn't getting anywhere with the Old Testament because it was so old and the scribes have handled it, they just couldn't do a good translation. And then when I read through Revelation 21 and I saw the stones, and I went to the Interlinear Bible to really kind of get an understanding of where and what these stones are, and I started researching the stones. And when I pulled up chrysoprase, that was the stone that I had the dream on. It was the exact stone, and so it had the gold streak. And again, it wasn't gold that was in there, but it looked kind of like a gold. And I'll show you here in a minute on these stones. So for me, I'm able to identify 2 stones, and I think that goes a long way in trying to figure out where these things come in. And so from there, I was able to, and I just kind of worked through and did the best I could of identifying which stones fit. I would take even the Old Testament, and I would try to pull up these stones through that order. And each time they have something, they'll give all these other options. And so I've kind of pieced it together. So I can't say that I'm absolutely correct. I can say I would be correct on Asher, and I can say I'm going to be correct on Benjamin, because we know those. And I believe the others I'm going to be correct on a good portion of them. Now, before I start showing the stones, let's also look at some other information that we have. Because some of these stones have multiple hues. They could be multiple colors. And we have some additional information in the Bible that identifies which color these stones are. Specifically, topaz, which is one of the listed stones, has multiple hues. I can't find any information on that. So topaz could be any of the colors of topaz. Whereas beryl, which is listed as one of the stones, has multiple hues, but we are given information. Daniel 10:6 says the beryl is the color of his body. So because of that, we're able to lock that in. It also says his hands and feet were like bronze, so we know that's a yellow beryl. So we've got that locked in. We also have the same thing with regards to sapphire. Sapphire could be a couple different colors. However, we're indicated, or we're told it is color of blue, and that's Exodus 28:10. So those things we can actually lock in a little bit. Um, the next issue is how many of these stones are translucent or transparent or opaque. So let's go through those definitions first. Transparent, you can see through it. If I um, hold up a pen or something on the other side, or some writing, you could actually read the writing through the stone, fully on the other side. If I wave my hand, you can see me waving my hand. Whatever. Think of like glasses; they could be colored glasses, but they're still clear enough you can see through them. Then you have translucent. It will allow light to pass. You're going to see objects on the other side, but you're not going to get clarity. And then you have opaque. You're not going to see through opaque at all. You're only going to see the top layer of the stone. Of these stones that we have listed, 7 of them are transparent, 4 are translucent, and 1 is opaque. And the opaque is jasper. Um, that becomes an issue because we have the stone of Benjamin, which is sardonyx, which is normally thought of as a opaque stone. And yet what we have for Benjamin, you can actually see through it. It is not transparent. It is translucent. Um, and because it is translucent, you can see that it's actually engraved on the inside of the stone, not on the outside, not on the back side. In the middle, it's inscribed. Um, and I actually have, and I'll put up the what the inscription is. It's 2 um, Hebrew letters, and in addition to that, one of them looks like the wolf. And so, but I'll put up that inscription of what's in the stone when we do this. So as I looked at jasper, the word in Strong's and NAS Concordance said a translucent jasper. So they are actually indicating that what the stone is, jasper or whatever, and I do believe it's a jasper, but it's actually something you can see through, or not as transparent, but as translucent. And I think that makes all the difference because if it's inscribed on the inside, it's got to be translucent. Um, now, I won't go into that. Do I want to go through that? No. Anyway, but these things are mentioned in 2 locations. It's Exodus 28:17 through 10, or 17 through 20, Ezekiel 28, where they talk about the precious stones of the king of Tyre, and of course we have Revelation 21. So with that being said, let's walk through the actual stones themselves, because that's, for the most part, why you're looking at this. For Reuben, it would be sardis. For Simeon, it would be topaz. We don't know the color of the topaz. Levi, I have it as emerald. Um, Judah is jacinth. Dan is sapphire. Naphtali is jasper. Gad is Chalcedony. Asher is Chrysoprase. Issachar is Amethyst. Zebulun is Chrysolite. Joseph is Beryl. And again, Benjamin is sardonyx, and the stone that I'm showing you for Benjamin is the actual stone that they have found for the tribe of Benjamin.